Yes, guys, hello and welcome back to the SpursRelated YouTube channel and podcast. Hope everyone's doing very well on this Saturday morning. Today, we're going to bring you a very quick overview of what to expect from these two games against Wycombe at 11 o'clock this morning in just 25 minutes time and against Luton at 3 o'clock. Double header for you. Feels like we're playing grassroots level football, but it is Tottenham Hotspur, believe it or not. I'm joined alongside Frank Thomas Frank's AI son. Frank, how you doing? You excited for the two games today?
I am. It's I say this first time in my lifetime I think we've ever played twice in one day. So usually I have to suffer the pain of Tottenham just once a week, or once a day certainly. And now I'm hoping it's not going to be suffering the pain of two in a day. But fingers crossed.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it like that. Could have two losses today, but no, thinking positively, it should be good. Should be good for Thomas Frank to experiment with his side and find out exactly who could fit into his lineup come the start of that Premier League season. That's just 2 or 3 weeks away now, so not long to go. But guys, if you do enjoy this little match preview, which we haven't done much of on the channel lately, please do smash the thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new, of course, and turn those notification bells on because we're pretty much going live or doing daily content at the moment. So hope you guys are enjoying that. But let's get straight into things. Let's talk about it. So as I said, Wycombe Wanderers at 11 a.m. at Hotspur Way at the Tottenham Hotspur training ground, and then Luton at Kenilworth Road. Luton are actually in League One now. They got relegated last season, so a League One opposition again. Frank, just very quickly, obviously we've got the lineups, which I'm going to bring up in just a moment for the Wycombe game, which is literally starting in 20 minutes time. What do you think, mate? Like, do you think the Wycombe game is going to be easier? Do you think the Luton game is more tough? Like, what do you think?
I think we'll probably have more success in the Wycombe game. From my limited knowledge, I know that Wycombe lost their manager to Luton at the back end of last year. I think it was Matt Bloomfield, and he was a really big part of kind of everything they did. And so I think he's the manager of Luton now. I'm pretty sure. I think they kept him when they went down. But so I don't know how sort of Wycombe will shape up. I don't know enough about them, but I think that Wycombe, being that it's on our own turf, it's probably a slightly bigger pitch than what we'd play on at Luton and whatever. I imagine that will be a slightly more comfortable result. Looking at the teams, they're both going to be relatively strong sides in both games.
Let's get into the lineups, mate. Just to update the people that are joining, because I can see the numbers are starting to grow. And if you haven't seen the lineups already, you got Brandon Austin in goal for the 11 o'clock against Wycombe, Pedro Porro on the right, Romero, Vuskovic in the middle, which is exciting. We'll come to that point in just a moment's time. Davies on the left back, and then Benteke, Bergvall and Saar. But obviously, as per the tweet at the bottom, George Abbott will replace Rodrigo Benteke. Not sure what happened there. But Odobert, Richarlison and Son. Could this be, playing devil's advocate here, Frank, could this be Son's last game as captain? Or do you think we'll see him in, well, we should see him in the Asia preseason tour, but potentially one of his last games if he was to be moved on to LAFC as per the rumours?
Yeah, it could well be one of the final ones. It feels a little bit to me like that is the backup front three without doing it maybe on purpose for all to see. But given that for later on they've been left with Tell, Johnson, Kudus, and Solanke, it does feel like those four are probably further ahead than the three that are playing. And so I know it doesn't. It's a friendly, so it doesn't really matter. And they're playing a strong side in both, because it's like saying, "Oh, Romero is playing; he's in the B team." Not like that. But I think as a front three, that looks like the backup front three to me. And so I imagine I do think, based on that logic, that anyway that this is kind of coming to an end for Sonny. So I don't say he'll be his last one, because I think he'll be a part, obviously, of the tour against Arsenal, Newcastle, and Bayern Munich. But once that tour's done, I don't think he'll feature really in the Super Cup and the Burnley game, certainly.
Absolutely, yeah. Interesting also that I think one to point out, you said about like the backup front three, but also quite a strong defence. Porro, who's a starter, Romero, who's a starter, Vuskovic, who is pushing to start, and Davies, obviously, he's not our natural left back, but You know, that defense is stronger than the attack, I think, and maybe we'll see it sort of the other way around. Obviously, probably Van der Ven, I guess, will be playing at Kenilworth Road later, but interesting enough, you know, his partner, normal partner Romero, is at the training ground this morning. So and also what's interesting is Vuskovic last game when he came on and played unbelievably, got a goal and an assist. I'm pretty sure he was playing alongside Van der Ven in that second half of that game. So actually he's going to play alongside Romero this time. We'll see the partnership of Vuskovic and Romero. Is that exciting? I think so. You know, two players that are very aggressive on the front foot, put in a tackle, not afraid to put in a challenge. I mean, I wouldn't want to be that Wycombe front line against Vuskovic and Romero, that is for sure. But guys, let us know in the comments below. I can see the numbers are growing, nearly 50 of you in the house. Let us know what you think on these two games. Do you think it's going to be easy wins on both of them? What do you expect? Who do you think is going to shine? I'm going to bring that question to you, Frank, as well. And then we'll predict the lineup for the other game this afternoon, which should be a stronger lineup. And we'll do that just on Frank's tactical board, which will be good fun. But yeah, just a little quick live for you guys today. Hopefully you like these little match previews, as I said. And yeah, keep supporting the channel. Keep hitting that like button. It really does help us grow. Frank, what do you expect in this game then? Do you think we could see a sunny goal? Do you think we could see Richarlison maybe prove some of those doubters wrong? Maybe he'll get himself a goal?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the midfield. It's a young midfield of Bergvall, Sarr and George Abbott. Not seen enough of George Abbott at Tottenham yet. Not really been given that chance, but was unbelievable on loan last season. One of the best players in League Two, and so that's exciting. And I want to see more of Sarr as well and try and fit into the system. Bergvall, we know is a superb talent. I'm a little bit confused by a couple of things. Number one being Brandon Austin starting in goal. I don't know if that means that Kinski and Vicario are going to play a half each later on. I don't know if that means one of them's going to play the whole 90. I don't know if that means one of them's injured. But it would have made sense, I think, to give those two 90-odd minutes each or 70 minutes or whatever, or maybe rotate one of them in this one or whatever and play your first choice one for 90 minutes or something later on. I find it a little bit confusing why Brandon Austin's in there. I'm also a little bit surprised by the fact that Porro and Davies are both playing. We saw the other day that in that first half, Porro played and formed part of that back three, and Davies formed part of the back three in the second half, both because they can play balls from deep and play that sort of role. You're left later on with I mean, by the way, they could still go to Luton. There's a chance. I mean, they said that there could be players that feature in both. So these guys could still go to Luton. I think it's unlikely, but they could. But we saw that Porro and Davies both sat as part of that three and played balls from deep, and that worked. Later on, I'm not sure Jed Spence and Udogie fit that role very well. I think they're both players that want to be the ones that bomb down the lines and have people play the balls to them. So I'm a little bit unsure. Maybe Bentancur, if he plays in that one, or Basuma, or even Archie Gray might be the one that. I mean, that probably makes the most sense. That's going to slot into that back three and play that role, because I don't see one of the fullbacks doing it. So that'll be interesting to see. And I'm looking forward to seeing Odobert again. Odobert excites me. I think he's a talent, and I think we haven't seen enough of him. So Odobert, I'm excited to see.
Absolutely, yeah, interesting stuff. Odobert, for sure has more to give, and shone in quite a few of the games last season. For me, actually was the game he scored a couple goals in, and just played really, really well. So yeah, I think there's more to give for Odobert, for sure. But guys, let us know in the comments below. Not seeing many comments in the live chat. There's 50 or 60 of you watching on Facebook and YouTube. In fact, that number's just grown to around 70. Get your comments in, guys. What do you think? Do you think this is a good chance for the likes of Richarlison to really stamp his authority and say, look, I'm not done here. I'm not leaving. Kind of a Wolf of Wall Street vibe sort of thing. And Pedro Porro, do you think he's going to be getting an assist today? Or do you think maybe Bentancur, Bentancur is obviously, as per the note below, not involved, but Bergvall and Sarr. I feel like that midfield as well, Frank's very interesting as well, because it's not really obviously a natural six in there. Sarr, Bergvall and George Abbott, you know, it's very much a midfield full of eights, in my opinion.
Sorry. It is, and it's not a 6, and it's also not really a 10.
That's what I mean.
which, I mean, maybe I think Abbott can probably play that role, and I think so can Bergvall. Probably Sard. I would say that probably SARS. I mean, there's going to be a double pivot. And this is kind of what I'm interested to see, and where I've said about Gibbs-White can play in this role before, is that when you play a double pivot, you maybe don't need big, tough tacklers the whole time. You can play with a slightly more forward-thinking sort of midfield. And so maybe that's just a test of this in a game that, one, doesn't matter, and two, is against an opposition that you should be able to sort of beat regardless.
Good point here from Frazzle. Welcome on in, mate. He's saying, looks like a team for trying out crosses for headed goals, Frank. What do you think? Got a good point. Romero, Vuskovic, Richarlison, very good in the air. Not a bad point there. Not a bad point.
You've got fullbacks as well, and Porro and Davies can hit across. Odobert and Son should look to take people on and get the ball into the box. I mean, it's a fair point, especially with that back line. I mean, those two centre halves, so could win anything, I think, if they wanted to.
Awesome stuff. Okay, so let's talk about the lineup that we could potentially expect for the game this afternoon against Luton Town. Frank, you've drawn up this little board here. Do you want to just take the mark in terms of what to expect against Luton, maybe?
Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be one of the two goalkeepers, maybe both of them. I'm not really sure. Obviously, we don't know how many players from this morning are going to be taken this afternoon. I mean, if any. Some might get taken. Some might just play 70 minutes today and in the Wycombe game, and that's them done. It wouldn't shock me if a few of them come off at half time and then end up making it to Luton and playing a half there as well. So they've played 90 across the day. I mean, I'm not really sure. But based on what is missing from that squad, and bear in mind, there's some quite exciting young players in that squad as well. I mean, apparently Juno Byfield's going this afternoon. Which is a really exciting one. Luca Williams-Barnett is apparently in one of the squads. I don't know if he's in this one or the one later on. So Tyrese Hall is in the one now. So we might see some sort of exciting stuff regardless of the first team. But for the first team, it's going to be one of the goalkeepers. Kinski or Vicario is kind of, I imagine that maybe both of them, maybe one of them, whatever. Van der Ven and Danso are the two missing out, and centre-backs. Last week, we obviously saw Van der Ven and Vuskovic playing the second half. This week, Danso, instead of pairing with Romero's, I think we'll pair with Van der Ven. This is where I'm a little bit confused, and that Spencer and Udogie, I don't think really suit maybe that role. So maybe we will see Gray come in as the right back and have Bentancur and Basuma in midfield, or maybe we'll see a young kid next to one of them, depending on, I don't know what's happened to Bentancur. If he's unwell or something, then no. But if he's just been brought out because he wants to play in this, then great. So maybe Gray will play that role because that makes the most sense, and having a back three of Gray, Danso, and Van der Ven. Maybe they're going to switch it up, and that was just what suited last week, quite possibly. Maddison, I've put as a question mark because he was back training on grass in the last week or two. I'm not sure if he's going to be fully fit. I think it's unlikely. So I think it's more likely to be Donnelly, Devine, or even Kudus. Kudus could possibly play in the 10. So I was, again, unsure. I think they'll both switch because neither of them are in the squad this morning. They're both going to sort of switch, I imagine, on that right-hand side. As I say, maybe Kudus will play in the 10 and they'll both get 90 minutes each, 70 minutes each. Solanke and I want to say Will Lancashire has gone to Luton. I could be wrong. Again, Solanke will play the majority of the game, I think. And in regards to left winger, Tell, I think, will start the game. If Odobert's starting, then I think Gray will start as well. Obviously, these are the under 21 guys who went out and came back late. Mikey Moore has been obviously a lot of rumours this week that he wants to go on loan. So that Dortmund, Rangers, and I think it's West Brom are kind of the three that are after him.
That's quite a mix, isn't it?
It's a real mix. And Dortmund
would be unbelievable for him.
Yeah, I mean, on a sort of taking a little tangent, I think Dortmund would be a really, really exciting move for him, actually, given how well some of the English guys have done over there. Sancho was a brilliant over there. Jude was brilliant over there. They've obviously got Joe Bellingham over there now. So that'd be that was who?
Glittens.
Yeah, of course, another one. I mean, they've had so many over the years of English guys that have gone over there, been successful. And it's a league that defensively probably isn't the strongest, and so would probably suit Mikey Moore in a team that are going to try and score goals and win a lot of games. So some more, sort of, on a little tangent, I'd like to see go there out out of any move. But also working under Ryan Mason at West Brom could help toughen him up a little bit and be quite an interesting one. But yeah, that's the sort of structures of the team I expect to see. As I say, wouldn't shock me if Gray comes in and plays right back for a while, and that forms your back three. I'm not saying that Spence and Udogie can't play that role. I just think it's kind of not what they thrive at. And Thomas Frank tends to give people the opportunity to do what they are best at and get the best out of players. So I find it a little bit confusing if that's the role they're going to play. I think if they do, Udogie will be the one that forms the back three more than Spence.
Absolutely. Interesting, like what you said, like I almost feel like Spence or Udogie should have been at the Wycombe game and then vice versa on either one of the other two, Davies or Porro, like you said, because they are naturally the ones that can form the three in that fluid formation. Interesting. Be interested to also see if Maddison is fit to play. Obviously back in training this week, but yeah, maybe it's a bit too early for him. So just picking up a couple of comments in the chat. Chris is saying, are you going to show the game here? Unfortunately not, because I'd probably get done for copyright. Plus, I believe it's not even being shown many places other than the Spurs' app. Gary saying, opportunity for Frank to see the full squad play. Yeah, we know what we are short on quality of. Absolutely. We need to sign a few more players, Gary, and certainly in the form of a number 6, certainly potentially a backup left back and maybe another forward player that can play on the left-hand side, depending on what happens with the other players. But very interesting, Frank. And who do you think out of that team is going to perform well today? Obviously, we're talking about it for the other game, but who can you expect to sort of shine? And can Solanke get a goal? I think he kind of needs to get back amongst the goals, get his confidence going for the season, because 9 Premier League goals last season, let's just be honest, it wasn't good enough. But obviously, we understand that he did have injury problems. So I think he needs to hit the ground running to start with this season. What do you think?
Yeah, agreed. Sorry, I just saw a thing from Fabrizio Romano that Chelsea are on the verge of signing Xavi Simons. So that's another one that we've been linked to off the list.
Terrible, not good.
No, not at all. Dom Solanke, yeah, I think he needs to probably get his confidence up a little bit. I think he's a top player, and I think people are. I've kind of said before, I think people have been a little bit quick to judge over the Ange period of certain players. In a team that was chaotic, it was a mess at times, most of the time, and didn't suit players' natural styles. And at times, I mean, we saw him work so unbelievably hard, and he was brilliant in certain games. We played United in the Cup, and he was superb. It was probably his best game for Tottenham, I think. Actually, he was brilliant. He was great out in Frankfurt, just working hard and whatever. And so he can do that role. We do need to see him score a couple more goals, but I think naturally, as you create chances for a striker, he will score more goals. He's a good finisher, and he just needs more clear-cut chances to fall to him and a bit of luck. And so that will happen. That will happen naturally. He could do with a goal today, maybe get a goal or two, and get his account open for the season. But even if he doesn't today, I think he's a top player, and I think he will be a big part of what Tottenham want to do this season. I think he'll score a lot of goals if he stays fit.
100%. Hopefully, the best is yet to come. And Tell, interesting one. Tell or Moore. Would you prefer, just firstly, would you prefer to see Mikey Moore in that left hand side?
So I just want to get rid of that. There's apparently Bentancur is ill, so he won't be playing in that second game. Would I
sums up that?
Yeah,
can we cement some of the other potentials?
That certainly reduces the amount of options we have as well, which is a little bit of an issue. At least it means we'll see Gray in midfield. Mikey Moore on the left was the question.
Yeah, do you think Mikey Moore will start over Tell, or do you think they'll make it a Tell? I can see him doing Solanke, Kudus, Tell.
That's what I think it'll be. That's what I think it'll be to start. I would like to see some game time for Mikey Moore. I think if he's not in the squad this afternoon, that says that he's probably gone on loan. I think he will be. I think he'll be on the bench. I think it will start with Tell, Kudus, and Solanke. Would be I think that's probably just the natural guess. Given that Johnson started the other day and Moore started the other day, I think they'll switch it up. I think those two will be the ones that come on. And as I say, I've waxed lyrical about Matty's tail in the last couple of weeks. I'm really excited about him under Thomas Frank. I'm excited about him under a coach who's going to allow him to, just be what he is and create chances, score goals, and have that flair in his game, which we didn't always see under Ange at times last season. So I'm excited for that. I hope he does well.
Absolutely, mate. And guys, I just put a comment in the chat. Who do you think will shine today? Put your thoughts in the chat. Obviously, I know a lot of you will probably be starting to watch the game in just a couple of moments, so we will wrap things up. Unfortunately, yeah, we don't want people to come in thinking we're showing the game. I've already seen there's a few dislikes on the video, guys. I literally haven't said that we're showing the game, so apologies for the confusion there. But yeah, we're just trying to round up, like I said, who's going to be playing it against Luton in literally just 4 hours' time. Who's going to be playing against Wycombe? Well, that one's all confirmed. Other than Bentancur in that lineup, it is George Abbott. So you got Brandon Austin in goal, Pedro Porro on the right, Romero, Vuskovic in centre back, Davies at left back. Then it's George Abbott, Bergvall, Sarr midfield with an Odobert, Richarlison, and Son forward line. So it'll be very, very interesting to see how this one plans out. Hopefully, we can get two massive wins, but also, let's be honest, the result isn't the most important thing. It's who Frank identifies that could be a very valuable asset to this team that's going to have to be fluid this season. 4 big competitions: Champions League, Premier League, Carabao Cup, League Cup. We need squad depth. We've got squad depth. It's time to test out that squad depth now against Wycombe to start with this lineup, as I just said. Listen, mate, I'm really excited to see how Odobert does, because I think he's got a lot of pelters, and so has Tell, right? Odobert and Tell are the question marks in that forward line at the moment. Solanke kind of gets away with it. Richarlison obviously gets a lot of heat, but it'd be nice to see Richarlison and Odobert do something and really say, I'm not done yet. And actually, forget that. Actually, Heung-min Son, because let's be honest, if Heung-min Son plays poorly and, like you said, looks very uninterested and doesn't want to be there, and maybe his head's turned to the American style of life, maybe that is the time for Son to leave. And as I said, I love Sonny, but sometimes the time comes where you have to say, look, thank you so much for all the 10 years of memories. What a servant you've been. What a legend you've been. But maybe now is time for best for both parties for you to move on. I'm not saying that's the right decision. You guys will probably debate that in the chat. I know a lot of you love Son, of course. That's very, very fair. I love Son as well. But, people come to defend him that he can play forever. Let's be honest, he can't. At some point you have to accept that you're 33 going on 34 and you're not going to be at the top of your game anymore. Ronaldo had to do it. He went to Juventus and then he's ended up at Al Nassr, So these things happen to players. Messi's playing it into Miami. Still absolutely class. But he's ripping up the MLS now, not Liga nor La Liga. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the chat. Hopefully we can get 2 big wins, 2 big results. The game has just started, so it'll be interesting to see how Luka Vuskovic does at centre-back with Christian Romero. It'll be interesting to see how that forward line performs, and it'll be interesting to see how that lineup, what we think will be the lineup against Luton, will do this afternoon at 3 o'clock. But guys, that is about all we got time for. Frank, any final points?
I'm just sort of I'm seeing if there's any way of trying to watch it, which is quite frustrating, because I'm not paying £45 for Spurs play for the year for one game.
There you go.
But apparently Thomas Frank is there, which means, not that he wouldn't be, but he's going to obviously be in charge of both games, which is a positive. That's just good news. So he'll get a chance to see, as the comment from Gary says, he'll get a chance to see the full squad, and see the attacking first, for the real, probably, I think, strongest attacking line we've got in those 4. So it should be an exciting day. Hopefully they win both. Hopefully they play well in both. Give us some stuff to talk about. Give us some excitement, and yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see how we do. Let's see how things pan out. But guys, hope you have enjoyed that little match preview. Just one more time. There is your lineup that started now the game. I was hoping we could stay live until a goal happens, but I don't think that is going to happen, Frank. And that is potentially the lineup for the Luton game. So, guys, dissect that how you will. Let me know in the comments below if you're watching on repeat. Your thoughts. Please do me a massive favor. There's still 70 of you in the house. Please smash the like button for me. That would be most appreciated. It's free to do so. Comment below your thoughts. Turn your notification bells on to never miss us going live. And the super chat and the membership options are available if you do want to support the channel anyway financially. That is also massively, massively appreciated. So the memberships are in the description below, and the super chats are on that super chat bar in the live chat and below the description. Hope you guys have enjoyed that little match preview. If you want to see more match previews, again, put that in the comments below. When you're smashing that like button, smash the hell out of that like button. Let's get 100 likes and comment your thoughts. And guys, we'll be back for tomorrow for a little match review of both matches, both against Wycombe and Luton, to see who did shine and put our worries to rest about maybe some players, hopefully. But guys, that is all we have time for. Hope you've enjoyed that little match preview. As I said, smash like, smash subscribe, smash the noti bells, support the channel in any way you can, and we'll see you again very soon for another episode of SpursRelated. And remember, as always, come on you Spurs, let's get the win.